Alright, before we jump into data, I just have to show you something. So I picked up Bulky today from the groomer, and I'm pretty sure they gave me the wrong dog. I mean, look at him. He responds to his name, so it's probably him, but there is only one way to check if it's Bulky or not. Bulky, can you say HubSpot?
Hapsnut.
Okay, it's definitely him. You can go now. Anyway, while Bulky recovers from that identity crisis, let's get into what you actually came here for. Part 3 of our webinar stats report. I'm back with more data from our analysis of 500,000 webinar registrants, and today we are talking about stuff that actually matters once people show up to your webinar: engagement and attendance. So we already covered marketing and promotion in part 1, then registration in part 2. Now we are looking at what happens after people register. So on average, 62% of registrants actually watch the webinar, live or replay. Now that's great, but it also means 4 out of 10 people basically ghost you. And honestly, that's not bad at all compared to other marketing channels. If 62% of people opened your marketing email, you would probably get a raise and a hug from your boss, maybe even a ticket to Coldplay's concert. So what does that 62% watching live or replay really tell you? First off, stop obsessing over live attendance like it's the only metric that matters, because replays matter a lot. Almost half of all webinar views, 47%, are on demand, which basically means your webinar has a second life. Kind of like Vulki's first. First it's messy, then it gets streamed, and suddenly people start noticing it again. So package the replay, send it to no-shows, slice it up into short clips to post on social media. And if you only care about live viewers, you're basically saying, thanks for signing up, now deal with our inconvenient schedule. So don't do that, please. Now, talking about inconvenient schedule, what is the day and time to actually get people live? Turns out 38% of webinars happen at 11 a.m. local time, followed by 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And honestly, this makes sense. It's the sweet spot of the workday. But don't just copy paste 11 a.m. First test it, because your audience might be in different time zones. So most of the webinars, I already said, that happen at 11 a.m., but webinars scheduled at 2 p.m. get the highest live attendance rate at 55%, followed closely by 11 a.m. at 50%. And another interesting stat for this scheduling is that most 2 p.m. webinars are scheduled in Central European time zone, which translates to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving American audience a chance to join during their morning hours. And conversely, 11 a.m. EST webinars work perfectly for European participants who can attend at 5 p.m. set, right at the end of their workday. And timing really does matter if you want people to show up. And when I say timing, I mean the day too. From my previous video, we already know Thursday webinars get the most registrations, but Wednesday has the best live attendance at 48%. Thursday comes in second though at 45%. And here is what you should do with this. If your goal is building a big email list, schedule for Thursday. If your goal is having engaged people actually show up and potentially convert, go with Wednesday. But wait, we are not done yet. We need to know which month of the year gets the highest live attendance rates. And as you can see, it's January. January is the top month for webinar attendance, with 50% showing up live, followed by February at 48% and October at 47%. So why January? Because after the holidays, everyone is motivated, pumped for professional growth, and ready to invest in learning. It's basically New Year's resolutions for your career. Your audience wants to show up. They just need to find the right webinar for themselves. So now we know the day, time, and month. They all influence attendance. So timing gets people in the door, but once they are there, you need to keep them awake, right? And that's where you need to engage your audience. 44% of webinars use live polls. The top 5% of those webinars get a 52% poll completion rate, and they do it by running 2 polls in a 60-minute session. Hosts that show polls on stage get 15% more completions than hosts who don't. So what you can learn from this: run a poll every 30 minutes. I would even recommend every 10 to 15 minutes to gather more data from your audience and engage with them. Show them on stage and use polls not just as a way to catch your audience's attention, but as a way to gather data from your audience in order to personalize your follow-up after the session. Polls are a great way for engagement, but there is one engagement feature people demand more than anything else. 92% of webinar attendees expect a live Q&A at the end. Which means if you are wrapping up your webinar with thanks everyone, goodbye, you are disappointing 92% of your audience. So always leave time for a Q&A, even just like 5 or 10 minutes. It's the moment where your audience feels heard, where objections come up, and honestly, it's free customer research. Even Bulki knows the importance of audience interaction, no Bulki? And after grooming, he communicates entirely through confused stares, and from time to time he just says, Hapsnut. No, Bulki, am I right? Now let's talk about webinar length. Let me change the slide actually. Okay, 20-minute webinars actually have 29% higher live attendance than 30-minute ones. Counterintuitive, right? With all these short TikTok videos or YouTube shorts, you think shorter is better. But the reality is that if someone commits to 90 minutes, they really care about the topic. So don't be scared of longer webinars, especially for deep dives. Shorter works for awareness. Longer works for conversion. But, and this is a big one, longer doesn't mean people stick around till the end. On average, only 40% of people stay until the end of a 60-minute webinar. And honestly, this makes me feel a bit better about you, Bulki. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You can't even sit still for even 5 minutes. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. So what is the solution then to keep your audience engaged until the end? Add polls, interactive moments, Q&A, maybe even a surprise guest speaker midway. Engagement is the antidote to drop-off. So keep your audience participating and you'll keep them watching. And yes, even if your attendees aren't wagging their tails like Bulki, they'll appreciate the effort to make your webinar interactive, valuable, and worth their time. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. Today, we covered what actually matters once people register: engagement and attendance. We learned that replays matter, timing is important, engagement is the key to avoid drop-offs, and length isn't your enemy. So if you take away just one thing today, it's this: don't just get people in the door, keep them there, keep them engaged, and make it worth their time. But we are not done yet. In the next and final part of our webinar stats deep dive, we are talking about ROI and repurposing. I'll cover which webinars generate 53% more ROI, the metrics you actually need to track, how you can save $650K using AI to repurpose webinars, and a lot more. So stay tuned, because we're gonna turn all this engagement and attendance data into real results. And maybe by then Bulki will have forgiven me for this haircut. I'm really sorry, Bulki. So see you soon.